We was not put on this earth to be alone. We were made as human beings to recreate life.
Today we're going to be talking about how black females all take different pipelines but always end up having the same results, being unsuccessful in finding a man.
I really feel like black men are addicted to struggle and poverty. I really feel like that. Because why is it that you got to get the bottom of the barrel when it comes to interacting with them? You got to get the bottom of the barrel, or you have to struggle in order to prove your worth with them. They are so far from the abundance and prosperity consciousness. It's fucking insane. They feel like, of course, because they mama struggle, you have to struggle, and you have to go through these hoops and loops and shit like you at a fucking circus to prove your worth. And it does not have to be that way. It does not. And they wonder why nobody want to fucking date y'all.
What happens is females waste their prime years with the wrong guy, and now they're looking to change the results of what they did.
If you help a man when he's down, he will shit on you when he's up. Never date a man, never help a man when he's at his lowest. Instead of feeling gratitude, he will feel resentment towards you. First of all, a broke man is a mean man who is in survival mode. Their burdens become your burdens. And if you're a nice, generous, empathetic person, they will feed off your energy, but they will view you as weak and gullible. Your big heart looks like a sweet lick to them. When I met my ex-husband, he was 21, living at his mom's house, fresh out of jail, catching the bus to his job at Burger King. And I know you're probably thinking, well, why did you get with him? Love bombing. That's another story for another day. 9 years later, when we got divorced, he terminated our lease, making me and his kids homeless. Gave me a car that was in his name, purposely took it back, so me and his kids had to take the bus, turn the car in so his new wife could ride in a brand new car. All while he drives a BMW and gives me less than $100 a month for 2 kids because he has to pay his rent. Like, I don't gotta pay rent. Child, he couldn't wait to humble me and try to ruin my life. Because the moment he met me, he was jealous of me and just used me to elevate his life.
This then turns them into hypergamists and now looking to improve their life even through dating outside of their race.
One of the reasons why I'm single, if I were to be honest with myself, is that I was blocking a lot of my blessings. I always thought I was going to marry a black man. I've only seriously dated black men, and for the past few months or so, I've only been on dates with black men. And the more that I go on dates with black men, the more that I realize majority of black men, at least single black men who live in New York, do not want black women. This is just like anecdotally with friends and their dating situations, with my own situations. When I'm just walking around, I'm seeing so many black men who are not with black women. And so for a while, I had this vision of my life and who I was going to marry, and I was going to marry a black man. But the past few months, I realized that I don't know if that's going to happen. And so it took me some time, but now I think I'm more open, more than now, than dating outside of my race. I don't know why I was pushing so hard to be with this group of people who really doesn't want us.
Another way females will practice hypergamy is by also leveling up in their career that they choose to be, so they can also find a man that is in a higher status than them to redeem their choices.
I think that's a big, I guess, challenge that a lot of successful women deal with, because they are high achieving, they're high earning, they've accomplished a lot of the things on their list, but then they look up and they're lonely.
Yes.
They don't have that other side. And I believe a part of it is because we were raised to believe, we have to work really hard, at least black women. In the black community, we were raised to believe you have to work really hard, be independent, never be in a position for somebody to have to, take care of you, go to school, do the thing.
Yes, be independent.
Be
because
independent.
You don't know, right.
And when we, grow up and mature, we realize it's truly interdependence that we should have been taught to aspire to be, because we get to the point where we're so independent that now it becomes hard to become a partner. And so I think that just making it a priority, the same way you make your professional life.
Enough times, it always ends in the same result. They get older, time is wasted, and there's still no man to be found.
Since I've been sort of telling my story of being single, it's the first time I've ever done that. I have been single before, you know, but it's the first time I've actually shared it. I'm getting really sort of split down the middle, reasons why you shouldn't, thoughts of what it is to be single at this age, at 45. And it's got me to thinking, really. So a lot of people are saying, be happy on your own. Be happy, because that's the way to be fulfilled. You don't need someone else to make you happy. Well, I actually beg to differ. We was not put on this earth to be alone. We were made as human beings to recreate life and to love and leave the family abode, to move on and have your own family and create new life and move forward and, you know, share life and create life and keep it going. Not once did God say, you shall be happy alone for the rest of your life. No, we were created as women to reproduce life. I'm not going to be having any more kids. I don't want any more kids. Well, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I'm 45. I doubt I want to be a geriatric. What is that? Well, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to be a mum now. I want somebody to grow old with, you know, travel the world with, love me. I love them. And that's it. You know, I'm not made to be on my own. I'm made to feel loved. What's wrong with that? It also got me to thinking, why am I single at this age? And the only reason I know that I'm single at this age is because I've stopped putting up with the bullshit. I do not accept things that don't make me happy. And the minute it stops making me happy, I'm gone. For me, it's really important to find somebody that isn't fearful because I can do it all myself. It doesn't mean that I want to do it all myself. And it doesn't mean I'm, you know, so empowered that I'm not going to be submissive as a wife. But it does mean that I am very capable of doing it on my own. And unfortunately for me, I've been with a lot of men that didn't do it for me. So I've just done it for myself. It doesn't mean that for a second that I'm one that don't need a man. Honey, I need my husband. Still looking for Mr. Right. I'm not as panicked anymore. I'm not as panicked anymore because I'll tell you why. I've literally come to terms with that Mr. Right is out there and he is searching for me, like literally scouring the earth for me. But I truly do believe it. I honestly believe that he's looking for me and he just can't find his way because he's got something going on, or he's got to get rid of his old baggage. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I know it's not going to be before long I actually find Mr. Right. Why I say that he's out there looking for me is because I'm now starting to see the attention that I'm getting. And I know that sounds mad, like, oh, you must see your DMs. I do see my DMs, but I think, but I've just started to become more ready for a relationship, because the more I am getting ready, the more people keep popping up and I keep seeing messages from handsome men and I'm like, oh, I got someone to pick from at last. Woo!
I find that a lot of females are in this particular space as well. Like I said, there's many different pipelines that they take, but they always end up in the same results: being unmarried, childless, and unsuccessful in finding the man that they all look for. But the one thing that I do find consistent is females will make terrible choices in their prime years, and the only reason why they begin to want to date up and be hypergamous is to improve their choices. They find that men in higher places, whether he's white, Asian or he is career driven, affluent, whatever it may be that's going to lift her in a different status in life, is because they want to redeem themselves from the choices that they've made in their life choices and in their experiences and whoever they chose to be with or sleep with. Which is why you get the bitter end of the stick when they're talking about not wanting to build with the man, because they build with the man that they shouldn't have built with in their prime years, leading them to being very resentful and hateful towards black men. But that's all really a projection of their own fault, lack of discernment. Then they begin to now always look for the guy in the finish line rather than build with him to get to the finish line.